let's play around with Scratch a little bit. This is really actually quite fun. If you notice, I have the Scratch icon on my laptop, so I'm going to double click on that and it should come up. And there it is. And what I have is, it's loading here. So here's a sprite. These are called sprites. And we can change the sprite to something else if we want. One way to do that is we can paint a sprite. We can choose a new sprite from the file. I'm going to click on there. And we've got animals, fantasy, things. So let's look at animals. Double click on there. So like I could put a buffalo on there. So I'm going to put a buffalo. Put a buffalo out by us. All right. So look, and now there's 2 of them. Okay. So I can click on these and move them around. All right. So right now sprite 2 is picked. If you look over here, I can pick on this guy. And the sprite 1 then is chosen. So let's go back to sprite 2. Notice down here is chosen, is on the stage. So let's move this buffalo 10 steps. So notice he's picked. So I'm going to pick on, and look, when I click on there, he moves. I'm over here, I move 10 steps. And I can drag him back to where I want. All right, let's move this closer. And let's drag this 10 steps over here. All right. Now, the nice thing about this is I can click on this number and I can make it a negative. So let's say I make it negative 10. The steps are pretty small. So I can click on there and see he moves backwards. Or I can click on this and I just make it 10 again. And click and he moves forward. Okay? And these fit together like Legos. So right now I have him moving 10 steps. And I am going to, let's see, I'm going to drag this over here a little bit. Let's look at costumes. So I can import a costume. I could do a camera. I could edit it. I can edit my buffalo. See, like I could, I don't know. Let's say I don't want to do anything anyway. But here's what I could do if I want to draw on top of him. I could draw on top of him. But I'm going to cancel it. But you can fool around with that. Okay, so I have him moving. I'm going to go back to scripts. Well, let's look at sounds. Well, I can import sounds or I can record a sound, but I won't. Actually, no, I'm not going to record a sound, not right now. Okay, so I go to scripts. I move 10. I got to move it 10 steps, and let's say I'm going to have him make a sound. So I'm going to click on sound, and then I can either I can click on this, and I can record a sound, or I can play a drum or an instrument or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I don't know what sound buffaloes make. So I'm just going to have it play some kind of drum. What do I have here? Oh, I'll play a cowbell. All right, and I'm going to drag that over here. And let me click on this and let's see what we got. All right, so notice this is the only one moving. And another thing we could do is we can control it. Now these are all things related to what we talked about in algorithms. But we're going to talk about in more detail later. So I'm going to say, I'm going to do repeat. So I click on this and I drag it over here. I want to repeat. And it's going to wrap itself around there, see? Now if I click on repeat, it'll do it 10 times. I'm going to move the cat out of the way. Okay? And I could drag him back to where he is. Now let's say I want him to chase the cat. So I'm going to have him do 10 steps. Well, another thing I can do, actually, which is interesting here, is I can click on duplicate, click on here, and see, it automatically created another 10 steps in here. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to move the cat out of the way. And I'm going to click on the gold. Okay, so like I can also do the same thing actually by just doing 20 steps instead of 2 10s. But let's say, for example, instead of playing a drum, oh, let's make him negative. So I'm going to make this negative 10, and I'm going to run it again. See? So he's dancing up and back. Does it 10 times. Okay, so let's change this. And so here's how we delete. So you click on the scissors, carry it over to what you want to delete, and you click on it. Okay, and I got to click on this guy too, get rid of this and get it back to what it was. Let's say, for example, I want it to work when I click on the buffalo. So I'm going to say when sprite 2 is clicked, so I'm going to click on that and drag it over. Fits like a Lego. And so when I click the sprite, Okay, so there it goes. Now, I can also duplicate this. And he's sprite 3. Notice, I cannot make, I'm not making these two work. I mean, like, they're not together. He's a totally different one. So what I want to do is I want to duplicate this. So I'm going to click on the repeat. And see, it's loose here. So I'm going to do this. And I want to pass control over to sprite 2. So I'm going to click on sprite 2. That just shows that it works. So I'm going to click on sprite 3. Okay, notice up here, that's where control has come to. All right. And then I have my sprite 2. So what I want to do is I want to set this up so that all right, so they're all lined up now. This guy can move forward. Because it's sprite 2. Okay, so I click on sprite 3. And you can't drag him over there. And let me see what else I can do. This is sprite 3. But when I click on him, nothing happens because I'm on sprite 3's stage right now. So, let's see, that's about all I want to show you with this right now. It's pretty simple and it's fun. You can play with it if you want. I don't want to record anything, but if you record, I'll click on record. Here's what comes up. So you click on this part to record, and then when you're done, you can click on that or click on OK. And then it does actually assign a sound to it. So then you can say OK or cancel. All right. So that's it for right now. That's a very brief introduction to Scratch. But as you can see, there's a lot of room for fun here, and we're going to have, this is going to be good. After you guys had, database was a lot of work, and the probability statistics was a lot of work, so now it's time for some fun stuff to learn. So you enjoy it. If you have any questions, please make sure to email me, and you Mac users, help each other. Make sure you put stuff on the bulletin board and the discussion board, and send email if you need help.